just right into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Okay,
Okay.
let's not waste time.
Okay, so let's start the episode with a mantra. Okay?
Okay.
And the mantra that I heard and I really like is you need to trust like the way that you wake up and know the sun is rising.
Mm. Okay,
So there's
explain it. Like,
um yeah, so I the reason why I say trust, I said you just need to trust. I didn't say you need to trust this, you need to trust yourself. You just need to trust. And
hmm
the trust is like really broad. It can be like you can just need to trust like what's going on in your life, whatever you're going thinking or going through, right? You just need to trust that things will work itself out. And it's the metaphor of comparing it to like the sun rising is so I think so like mind blowing to me because you don't think twice about it. You just know it's gonna
yeah.
happen. It's not like you're not like not it's not like every day you're waking up or like you're going to bed wondering if there's gonna be another day of sun or whatever, right? You know it's there for you at all times, right?
hmm
And that kind of makes me think about like when you go to bed, right? Like it's just like when people say like deathbed, bed, right? I think we should be living our daily lives as if it's our last time going to bed. Because what if you don't wake up, right? It's
And
kind,
and that could happen. Like,
yeah,
who's to say that tomorrow's promised? Who's to say that when you go to bed? Like, we all just assume we're gonna wake up tomorrow.
exactly.
But like, it sounds harsh, but it's not promised. No one
hmm
says you're gonna wake up tomorrow. So I guess you just have to trust that you will.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think I got like that mantra. It's just let's ground ourselves and remember that if you're freaking out over something right now, it's gonna itself out. It always
Mhm.
does. And you just have to view any kind of challenge as a lesson to learn, something to learn from, because we've overcome everything in our lives and we're okay. So that's the mantra for the episode. Okay. Okay. So with that out of the way now, I want to touch on a TikTok that I saw, which I love, but also makes my eyes roll so hard because, like, the things, when like you see something, it's like, I knew that. How come
Yeah.
this one blew up, right? And it's that TikTok, and I know that you love this TikTok because you sent it to me. Okay, so the quote goes like this: I just saw a video that said, before you were born, God showed you your entire life, and you chose to live it. You probably saw something that makes it worth coming to Earth. I think that's enough reason why. And when I saw that, I loved it. When you saw that, what did you think?
Um, I liked it because I feel like a lot of the times we doubt what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you think about it as like you picked your life, like you saw a preview and you were like, that's the life I want to live.
hmm
It's like you picked it for a reason, and there's something, whether you see it now or not, it's reassuring that to think that there's something coming that is the reason why I picked this life. Like it's just kind of cute. I don't know. And I
hmm
I was having a little bit of a crisis this week too. So when I saw that, it really spoke to me and I was like, yeah,
What
this
was
is the
this
reassurance
crisis?
I needed. Okay, so basically there is a girl who I saw on TikTok and she is a I think occupational therapist. Like she works with kids who have disabilities and stuff. And I was watching it and she like makes TikToks about how much she loves her job and like how she's so grateful that she gets to wake up every day and like know that she's helping someone. And I was like, wow, I will never have that. Like, let's just be so honest. My job, accounting, is not that. Like, there's nothing that like, I don't wake up feeling like I'm making someone's day better or I'm helping someone. You know what I mean? Like it's very like insignificant. And I was like, wow, what is the meaning of life if like what you do for work and stuff is not helping others?
hmm Yeah.
So then I was like, oh my gosh, why? Like, should I be doing something that's more fulfilling? And even my sister, like, she works in the hospital.
Yeah.
and she's a dietitian, and she tells stories about how, she likes knowing that she's making people healthier and like she's making them more comfortable by helping them with their meal plans and stuff. And I literally just sit there and I'm like, I cannot contribute to this conversation whatsoever because what am I really doing?
Hmm.
So that was a little bit of a moment.
Yeah. So
Um,
how did you come back? How did you return to
I
form?
mean, I think I don't know that your job has to be fulfilling. Maybe this is a controversial opinion. I don't know that your job has to be your purpose, but I think you have to have a purpose. So if your job is not giving you that purpose, if your job doesn't feel fulfilling, you need to find something else in your life that gives you that sort of feeling. So whether it's like volunteering or I don't know, maybe like within accounting, I like work for a group that's like teaching people who don't have it, like something that's making you feel like you're contributing to the greater good. I haven't figured that out yet, but
Okay. Okay. No,
we'll
good.
get
I
there.
love that you're on that track though. You're going through it. You're in the motions of it though.
Yeah.
Um, but I love that we're speaking about this because this week I've been just thinking and kind of I've been journaling. By the way, I've reached 30 days of journaling
Oh,
consistently, and
you're so good.
whoa, it feels good. And trust, some days are barely nothing. Some days it's just one line. But I did it, and that's great.
Yeah,
But
I need
on
to approach it that way because to
yeah,
me, like, it's such a big thing to sit down and, like, oh, I gotta reflect and journal like 8 pages. And you can literally just write, like, today was a good day, period, close the journal.
and that's a huge accomplishment too because people don't make time when it's a good day to write down stuff. It's only
Right.
when they go through stuff that they want to write something down. But a
Okay.
good
I
day
need to
needs
do
to be
better.
acknowledged, and that's
Yes.
that's
Okay.
enough. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have
Okay.
to
Sorry.
overcome something to write something down. You can just live to write.
Yeah.
But yeah, that quote or that TikTok that I saw reminds me of this book, The Journey of Souls, which is about PhD Michael Newton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who kind of does trauma therapy, and he does regression. So they regress into their childhood and go back into those memories to kind of work through their childhood trauma and disconnect the kind of pain or the physical emotional pain of what they experience and try and to neutralize it. And
Mm-hmm.
so he's been doing that for years. And then one time he was helping a patient who accidentally started slipping back into a past life, and he was so curious as to like, what are you talking about, right? Like, what do you mean you're this person, you're in this time period, right? um, um, and yeah, it's just cases of like his patients and what they've experienced in their past lives, but also as well the time and space in between their current life and their past life. So
Hmm.
pertaining to that TikTok, I started to go into the chapters of soul selection, or not soul selection, but life selection. And what they talked about in there, and it's really interesting, is that it's kind of like that TikTok in the way that you are. What happens is when you think it's time, your soul will just have like a little inkling feeling of like, I'm ready, right? But then you also
Mm-hmm.
have a guide, a person who watches over you, like a mentor, right? Who also, if you go to them and ask like, do you think I'm ready, they will encourage you, if you are ready, to start selecting a new life and looking into what it is, right? And so when you're ready,
So do you think that like when you die, you're born again in a next life in a different life form?
from this book, that's what it sounds like. And this guy
Okay,
was
but
like
what do
a
you think?
I really do think that. And what I do think is it goes back to that deathbed thing, right? If you die with regrets, I think you're going to be reborn. It sounds like from my philosophy of like, that's the reason why I don't want to go to bed with saying that like, I wish I did this, I wish I'd done that, right? If I go to
Mm,
bed, and also when I live my daily life, if I think I really think people are born again if they have regrets and if they are like just they don't work through things, right? If they don't feel like
So you're saying if you regret, if you go to bed regretting things, or if you like hold on to things that you're
yeah,
regretful of,
yeah,
you would be born again trying to like what?
just work through that, work through it, like you.
Oh.
What do you think?
So I don't know.
Do
To
you
be
think there's
honest, like
nothing
this
afterwards?
whole idea, like I avoid this topic because it honestly
Hmm.
stresses me out. And
Trust me, it stresses me out too. And what?
and it just is like it is the one thing that no one can speak on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that is just so scary. You know what I mean? Like let's say climbing Mount Everest, like 99% of the population will never know what that's like,
Yeah.
but the 1% that's done it, or however many people that have done it, they've done it and they can speak for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But it's like the concept of death, it's like no one can say they've experienced that.
But people
So
have
to
experienced
everyone
near
it's
death, when
foreign.
people are like,
Yeah.
it is, but then those cases of like those hospital things, right? It's like some people
Yeah.
they meet God or something in those experiences, right? But yeah, like I said, I really think that and something I think that people will want to live lives, or will be reborn again, right? If
Mhm.
like they compare constantly, they'll be like, I wish I had that, I wish I did had this, I wish I was that person. Like when they want to put themselves in another person's shoes, I think that that's what happens. That's when people get reborn, right? And
Mm.
also I think it's just a natural thing that happens. I don't think like I think that we're all here to experience something, and we want to keep experiencing something. That's why
Yeah.
we try so hard in some weird way, in our own weird way, right? But yeah, pertaining to this journey of souls, I'll walk you
Yeah.
through like that control room scenario that TikTok touched about. And
Okay.
what it says is that you'll go to this ring of something. I think it's Ring of Destiny or something, right? And it's kind of like, just think of a spaceship, right?
Mhm.
There's a control room, right? And then there's screens. But these screens are not just like TV screens. It's like a projection. It's like you're projecting an image onto a wall, right? But just imagine that all around the room, right? And what you can do is that you can scroll through your life scenarios. They'll present you different lives
Yeah.
to do. So, like, literally just think about an avatar that you have like a select handful of options to choose from, and those options are chosen for you from your mentor or the divinity, right? And so it's pre-selected for you, and there's certain conditions to each of these lives, right? That you kind of like, it's kind of like a video game where you see the stamina, the health, the strength, the durability,
Yeah.
the intelligence, and stuff like that. um, you can see all that laid out, right? And you get to control the life, right? And what I mean by that is that the life will be displayed on the screen, right? And you get to
Mhm.
scroll fast forward, scroll backwards to specific points in time, right? But so you get the glimpses of that life, right? And you get to
Right.
choose if you want to live that life or not. And it seems like a very big, or like, you get to scroll through everything. So like, what's the point of living the life, kind of thing, right? But there's
Yeah.
specific things that you cannot see, that are blocked out,
Okay.
and so you get to see like the pivotal, or like just like a hypnosis of a book, kind of thing. Like you
Mhm.
get what you need to know from it, right? And so one of the case studies is this musician, right? And it was saying that um in their past life they were a construction worker, but they had a very big thing for music, and they had an instrument that they were gifted at, but their life was cut short because of an accident, right? And so in this lifetime, they were presented opportunities to be a musician, right? But then there are different opportunities. One was in New York, right? And another one
Oh,
was
I would have
in
picked that one.
exactly, that's what they picked,
You would
right?
have seen that and
That one. um and there's another one in LA, right? And you compare the different things, right? And one of the New York person was like, I think I think they were like it was because of the city they selected the New York body, right? But in the
Mm-hmm.
LA body, they said that that one was so talented, right? Like so
Oh,
talented. But the New York body had a wealthy family, right? And that soul specifically chose that body because of the circumstances of that life, where he said that a really big thing for me is to have that comfort of being provided for and cared for so that I
yeah.
can pursue that dream, right? So that really goes to show that like some people feel really guilty about how much they're given, right? In their life, like the comfort and the luxuries and privilege that they have, but
Mm-hmm.
um don't ever stop that, and you only feel guilty because you compare yourself, right? When
Yeah.
people like when those wealthy people live their lives and they're not comparing, it's nothing to them. It's like it's automatic behavior, this natural, right? But like, yeah,
What about for like, if for that, if we think about that concept and we think that that's true, that you're shown your life and you pick your life for a reason, what about people who are living in like terrible circumstances?
they
Why
also
would
touched
they
on that.
why would they pick those lives?
They that's what they chose. That's literally what they
But
chose. Like
why would they, is it because you're like shown two options and they're like, maybe one option is like you have like, I don't know, a good family, a good job, but you're miserable, or it's like you're homeless but you're very happy and like, you know what I mean? Like what did they say about that?
you see those types of situations, I think that there's one goal that they have, that there's that even though those two different options are different, right? There is this one discrete thing that hits the nail, which was the musician part, right? For that guy, right? And I believe
Yeah.
that those really bad. I don't. Everything's bad in its own way, but despite the badness of each one, there's that one thing that holds it in common, and that's what matters in the end. Like it doesn't like, and one of the things that they touched about was like people who have like physical disabilities, right? Why would they
Yeah.
choose that, right? But they really chose it, Taya. There's no other way of others saying of like this
So
is
you're
what they
just, so there's
chose.
no reason why, it's just like they just chose that?
They chose it so that they can know and experience and develop like awareness and appreciation and gratefulness
Mm,
of a healthy body, right? Or like of a body
I
without
see.
that. And that's really what they chose because that's something that they didn't prioritize in lifetime, right? And that's why,
Yeah.
like, for example, another big one is relationships, right? Some people are born into lives where they are not, where they don't have relationships, right? And that might be a consequence of their past lifetime of being so in a relationship and so defined by
Right.
relationships that in their new lifetime they wanted to
They don't want it.
experience their individuality, right? And
Mm.
I feel like some people, especially me, right, is that like, is that a curse? But no, it's a gift, and deep down, like, I kind of know it's a gift to not be bounded, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not in a poly way, in a really individual way of like,
Yeah.
um I like I could so easily have be in a relationship and just need to um hold my end up in the relationship and care for someone, right? But um it's a blessing. Everything is a blessing in your life. But
Yeah.
of course it's hard to see it sometimes. But yeah, that's what the book touches on. And it's just very interesting.
Maybe I should read it because this sounds interesting. Because,
Yeah,
yeah, when I saw that TikTok, it made me reflect for a minute. And it was
yeah.
after I had this spiral about, like, I know what I'm motivated by, and I wish, like, and we've talked about this before, where in one of our, or maybe we've talked about it a couple times, but I always wanted to be a teacher because I like the
Yeah,
idea of teaching someone and helping people learn.
yeah.
But I know deep down, I, like, as bad as it sounds, and I think people don't like to admit it, but I am definitely motivated by money. So I picked a job that I know will have like a secure future and whatever. And I just hope that I'll be in a position where I can still have that teaching, whatever, the opportunity to teach.
Hmm.
But it did make me reflect for a minute, like, wow, am I just like a selfish person for being motivated by that and not picking a job that would be fulfilling and maybe not so focused on how much you make, but just knowing that you're helping other people and then that being the payment, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
I stopped and I reflected and I texted Anna and Stella and I was like,
uh-huh.
guys, do you ever wake up in the morning and like think that you're making a difference? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
That's not our job. I was like,
Um, but the most important part of that kind of journey that you're on is that you are headed in some direction. And I feel like
yeah.
some people, they have this kind of crisis that you had, and they just are frozen because of it. They don't want, they're kind of stuck in the in between. But the most important thing about the journey is just heading somewhere, because
Yeah, just
it's
keep
it's
going.
totally okay for that goal or what you thought you want to change, right? But sometimes you have to experience what that thing is, the fulfillment of it,
Hmm.
in order to grow more and change. And change happens at its own time. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just telling you to get what you want, feel it, enjoy it, and then release when you don't need it anymore. When you realize that
Hmm.
I'm good now, you know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, and the book also touched about if you're drawn to a place, it's meant for you. It said that in the book. So like New
Mm.
York, it's meant for us. It doesn't say
Some
something.
people on TikTok must have read this book because I've also seen that TikTok exactly saying like if you
Yeah,
feel yourself drawn to somewhere, it's for a reason and it's because you're meant to be there.
yeah, and like that life selection thing, the first thing that they consider in the like life selection process is number one, location. Second is
Mm.
money and lineage also plays a factor. But yeah, that's pretty interesting.
That
Um,
makes sense. I
yeah,
guess speaking to the point about the location, you and I both recently said like we have a feel like an urgency or a feeling to move.
yeah.
So, what has been making you feel that way? Do you feel like
Um,
you've just like outgrown your space, or do you feel like you want a new challenge, or what is making you feel like you want to move?
yeah, I just feel like I need a challenge. I need a new space. I think, I think there's nothing that makes me want to go out where I'm at right
Mm,
now. You know, nothing's like driving me out of the house to do something to whatever. I think I just feel so like
you're
comfortable,
comfortable.
but
Yeah.
also in a box. I just feel like I'm in a box. Yeah. Have you been feeling that way recently too?
Yeah, I think realizing that I have an end goal and I'm still not there, and I think moving for a short period of time, it's like it's been fun, but you can easily get distracted by all the other things and forget, okay, what was the reason why I moved here? Like, this is a stepping stone to achieving bigger goals, and it was a necessary stepping stone. So I'm still happy about it. But it's like, okay, I just want to be there. But I need to like remind myself that it takes time and there's a process to everything, and you'll get there eventually. Like, you can't rush it. And when
Mm-hmm.
it's meant to happen for you, it will happen for you,
Yeah.
but also reminding myself like what are my goals and what am I doing every day and does it align with those goals and am I helping myself move in that direction?
Yeah. And as much as we want it now, like we have to again be realistic and really ask ourselves with our financial situation. Is New York fun when you're broke? Definitely
Okay,
not.
but also
Yeah, what up?
I think living like even Toronto's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes think that living in a city that's expensive, it will force you to make more money
Yeah.
in a way, or it
Okay.
forces you to like work harder because you're like if you like lived in a city that was super affordable, cheap to live in, like Red Deer. I don't okay, I actually don't know anything about Red Deer, so let me not start hating on Red Deer.
Okay.
But if you lived in a city that was super cheap, you can get a nice apartment working like a relatively quote unquote easy job and you've already achieved everything, like you have the best apartment, you can have a good car, all these things, you're just gonna like, why would you push yourself for more?
Hmm.
But if you go, like, let's say you move to New York, it's like you see what you can afford, and you're like, wow, I'm not okay with this. So you're going to force yourself to do more because you are not happy with your circumstances. So I think sometimes putting yourself in that uncomfortable environment ends up pushing you and making you better than you would have been if you would have just stayed in an environment that was easier.
That's very true. I agree with that. The only reason why I said that is because I have the fear, or like I don't like the what I see on the internet of like people working like dead end jobs. Like, of course, it makes you work hard, but then working like dead end job hard. You know what I mean? Like
What do
side
you mean
gigs
by
on
that?
gigs, um, like two
Oh, like
working
you're like
two jobs.
working to live, not living
Exactly.
working to like working to live is typically the better, like, you know how they say you're either working to live or you're living to work. People say you should be working to live, but if you're working and you have no time to live, then that's a different story.
Yeah. That's like the very lucky people who get fulfillment out of their jobs. Um,
Yeah, I think that
yeah.
there's like that's like honestly far and few in between.
And in other big news, Taya has also started her first, or had a consultation with a therapist. How did that go?
The consultation was good, and I have the first appointment is actually Friday. It got moved to Friday in person, which I was super happy about.
Hmm.
Do you see your therapist in person?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think that's better, hey, at least for the beginning to
For
like
the
develop a
beginning.
relationship.
Yeah.
Because originally it was virtual, and I was like, I just think that if you're trying to establish a relationship, especially with someone like a therapist, you need to be in person with them.
Mm.
But anyways, the consultation was good, and I really liked what she was saying because she was asking me why I want to get into therapy. And I was basically just saying, like, it's something I wanted to do for a long time, not necessarily because I feel like I have like a huge issue that's weighing on me and like I can't get out of bed because of it. I just said, like, I think I can recognize patterns and behaviors in myself, and some of them I don't like, some of them are just whatever, but I just want to understand why and be able to fix things. And then she asked for an example, and I gave her an example. And then she said, because I was asking her what her stance on therapy is. So then, to my point, she said something that people often do when they come to therapy is they're looking to fix a list of things about themselves that they think are wrong. And typically, they think they're wrong because they're comparing it to someone who does something differently. So if I'm like more shy and all my friends are outgoing, I'm gonna like go to her and be like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I also be outgoing? Why am I shy in a group of people I don't know? And she was saying, like, I think the more important thing is not to want to fix it, but to understand exactly why you do what you do and recognize, is it something I should fix or is that just who I am? And if it's not causing you harm and it's not causing other people harm, that's just your personality. And if you go to therapy and you're like, I have this list of things, tell me how to fix all them, you're basically asking to change who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're asking them to change your whole personality.
Hmm.
So I liked what she was saying about that. And I'm like interested and excited to kind of learn more about,
Awesome.
like what things do I actually need to work on and what things do I need to just accept and like be okay with because there's nothing wrong with them and that's just who I am.
Yeah, and get ready for your therapist just to tell you, fuck them. I feel like that's what my
Really?
therapist has been saying, is just like, just take care of you first. That's what that's what a lot of like, whenever I like again compare and ask if like I'm being a good person, if I'm like, yeah, trying to
Hmm.
be like, I want to be there for people in my life, and they just say that like, put up boundaries. You need to like protect your peace and safety first. So I'm excited to see what you guys talk about and see how how what you learn about yourself.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it kind of reminds me, I was listening to was it you or was it Anna who told me about this? I forget who I was talking about it with, but the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I think I sent this to you,
I think you sent that to me.
and I think you didn't listen to it.
There's some okay, whatever. Some of them I do, some of them I didn't. Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's exactly how it sounds. Is like you cannot control people's opinions about you, so you just need to let them. Like, let them talk shit about you if they're going to talk shit about you. Let them judge you and give you a dirty, like, it's like, what would you have done to prevent that? Probably nothing. And if you would have done something differently, there's nothing to say that they would have reacted differently. So it's like you just control what you can control, which is she listed a couple, I can't remember, but basically she was saying control what you can control, which is essentially like your actions, how you react, and how you feel,
Hmm.
and everything else just let it be. And that's kind of, I guess, like it sounds like what your therapist has told you too, is like just let them. Let people do what they're going to do. Like that's not your control. That's
Yeah.
not in your control, and you cannot force someone to have an opinion about you. You could be the nicest person ever and they'll still find something to say about you.
Yeah, because it's kind of like trying to take on people's problems, take on like and process what they're thinking so that you
Yeah.
can output something that they desire. But what if they're just wrong? What if you're wrong? It doesn't matter. Let them.
Yeah, just let them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'll report back next episode with
Hmm.
how the first session goes. But yeah, I'm excited.
Good.
On a more exciting note, Jason, you have
Yeah.
an upcoming trip.
Oh yes, I have a trip to New York this weekend or next weekend. 444. And
444. What does
yeah,
444 stand for?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Are you excited? What do you guys have planned? So Jason, you're going with, well, you have a friend that lives there and you're going
Yeah.
with another friend. So
Yeah.
what do you guys have planned?
Um, Not nothing really. It's our friend's birthday. It just recently passed last weekend, so we're gonna go, and kind of have like a celebration with her. And just I think Muncie wants to go to Costco. She wants to go to Costco and Trader Joe's. Um,
Oh, Trader Joe's is so
yeah,
good.
and I think she's gonna purchase a luggage there, and she's gonna check in check in a bag, just a bunch of stuff from those two places. So that's what's going on. But yeah, nothing really much. I think the first time I went in 2023, that's like kind of like the tourist experience. I think now I think it's just
Chill.
vibing, literally
You know
vibing
what
like
you
what you
should
do.
do?
But
If it's not too cold, you should pack your runners and you should go for a run.
okay, so I was thinking about that, and I told my friend that what the fuck? Okay, I told my friend to tell her roommate, which we're friends with, and that roommate loves to run,
Mm-hmm.
right? That I'm gonna run with her, and on Sunday, she's gonna run a 5K, and I think if I can fit the shoes in there, I don't think I can fit runners in my carry-on.
I
Then I'll
don't
run
care.
with her.
Tie them like by the laces to your backpack.
Fuck. Okay, I think I will then. I think we'll also go to Barry's or something there too. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you
do it.
have
I'll do
to.
it. Yeah.
I want to see the Strava post with
Uh
like
huh.
the route, like Brooklyn or like New, like I
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
see. That's the motivation. Strava, I'm telling you, is motivation. Like just
Hmm.
knowing someone else is gonna see it sometimes is all I need to finish the extra kilometer.
Yeah. My my Strava's really embarrassing because nothing, no run is over 2 kilometers long, and
It doesn't matter.
I'm not gonna do more than 2 kilometers an hour.
But you are gonna do more than two because you signed up for a
For 10,
10K.
yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna start training for that, but yeah. By the way, I signed up for a 10K, and also Taya signed up for a 10K, so we're both doing
Yeah,
10Ks in May. And yeah, it's really cold right now, so I can't run. But yeah,
I
I
know the
love
weather
running
is so
now.
bad.
Yeah.
You do, hey? So do you find it like a good stress reliever? Like what's your take on it? Because I've
You
been
know,
trying to make
really.
Jason run for a while.
Yeah,
Like
and
I've been
I
telling him it's really good for the mental health. Like
y-
I like I don't really care about running to like lose weight or anything, but it's
uh-huh.
so good as a stress reliever.
Okay, when I first like whenever I hear people run, I think first poor knees because I hear that people who run a lot have really bad knees and can't run
Right.
anymore, so they end up cycling in the end. And another thing like about running is that I think there's bigger fish to fry than to run. I feel like if you
Yeah.
run, you have a lack of problems, and I
Like
also
too
think
much
that
time on your hand.
too much time, yeah. And I feel like you're running from something too. Like literally, you're running from something in your mind.
Right.
Um, but that's great because some things don't need to be further explored in the mind. For example, when you ask me what I think about running, is it a good stress reliever? I really think that running is a great stress reliever, especially when your mind runs and it goes into catastrophe mode regarding anything. Like I found myself going for a jog just to relieve myself of the mental stress that was going on there, and
Yeah.
it was great. And that run was great because I pushed myself 3 times, 3 times of like telling me I'll take a break here. No, I can keep
I
going,
know.
and then
It's
I
so
could keep
good.
going, and I'm like, whoa, the mind can do great things, and the body listens to the mind. Everything health wise comes from the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm so glad that you enjoy it because
yeah,
yeah, I've been trying to convince Jason to run for a
yeah.
while.
So you got me to run, but I don't think I'll ever do run club. Like a run club to me is like it reminds me of a gay cruise but on land where everyone's just first standing there is like who's gonna fuck who, and I'm like that's what a run club is. It's a dating app in its own way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Run club scares me. They also like run way too fast for me to be part of it.
really okay. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing I didn't think about. Yeah.
Yeah. But did I ever tell you about there's like a run club here. They run at nighttime. Did I tell you about
No,
this?
no.
It's
What's
like
that?
a big run club. And they run at nighttime and they wear like glow sticks and like people carry like the speakers and they play music really
Okay.
loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe that could be fun, but yeah, I think sometimes weird people go to run clubs.
How so?
Like people who are like treating it like a dating thing.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
no one's approaching me when I'm running, I can tell you that much. My form, I'm like huffing and puffing. Like I will not be getting approached at a run club,
Oh my
that's
god.
for sure.
Starting to think about now, I kind of hate Strava because I see people's paces and I get so insecure about mine. Like I can't look at any other.
No, but your pace, I'll tell you right now, is way better than my pace was when I first started.
Interesting.
So
And
if you're comparing to me, just know, first of all, I've been running for like a year, over a
mhm.
year, and like my pace is barely faster than yours, and it was like 6.2.
But you run longer as well though.
Okay, well, let's not compare.
But also,
Like,
so
you'll get
thank
there
you,
in a
thank
year.
you. But I'm talking about like fucking past lives and like life selection. The really sad part about the pace thing is that I don't think I can get faster because like people with taller people have bit longer legs, and I can't run any faster
Wait,
than I
you're
can.
not like 5 foot tall.
No, but I'm saying this because it'll affect the 10K. I want to do under an hour, and it's really hard. If
Oh,
I think it,
I was aiming for an hour and 15 minutes. So if you want to do it
do
at
you
under an hour, go ahead.
no, like literally I think it will take me an hour 15, but I really want to get to the point where I want to do under an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that you'll surprise yourself because it's hard to run by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's way easier when there's like it's like literally a swarm of people running at once and you're like I can't be the one person that stops right now and everyone else behind me like has to swerve around me so you just keep going.
Do you actually think that's easier? That helps when you're in a group?
Yeah, I prior to me like cuz I ran a 5K.
Uh-huh.
Prior to that, I had never run a 5K without stopping in my life.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and I did not stop once, and it was like way easier than I thought. And I
Wow.
was like,
Okay.
there's people taking pictures, like I can't be in the picture,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I just think you'll surprise yourself, to be honest.
Okay, I'm actually less afraid of it now. I was thinking that running with someone would make me more. Um, I
No,
don't think I could. I don't think I would be able to catch up.
no, you'll be good. Wow, look at us go.
Yeah.
Both of us 10Ks,
Therapy.
therapy.
What's next?
That's it for now, but it's pretty
Yeah.
good considering it's like just February 2nd.
Yeah. And honestly, this month, or yeah, wait, January has passed. Um, kind of felt. I think it was such a strong start, and then it kind of got like you got busy with work. I think it just got
Hmm.
so like like a blur in a way. But
But
we
one
did
thing I
things.
have maintained,
Yeah.
office siren attitude in the office.
Okay, explain how so?
Like I've just been putting more because I do think the like look good, feel good, do good mentality is true. Like
Yeah,
when you
okay.
put effort into getting ready and you like feel good in the morning, you eat a good breakfast, like you go into work with a different type of energy than if you were like you overslept, you were like running out the door trying to grab all your things, making sure you didn't forget anything, just like grabbing whatever sweater you can throw on. You like bring that energy into work. So if you're like you take the time to like your outfit, you plan out your outfit, you like
Yeah, yeah.
take the time to do why are you laughing?
No, it's cute. It's cute.
It's so true. Like it just like embodies a different type of confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I've been trying to do that, I will say.
Good.
And that's the only thing I've been consistent with. But and reading. I've been doing good with reading.
Okay.
Um, and then the journaling I need to get better with, but I just need to think about it as like you said at the beginning of the episode, like just one sentence. Like how was your day in 5 words? That's all you need to
Yeah,
do.
really.
So anyways, we're off to a strong start, but let's hope that we can continue this um, motivation throughout the
Mm,
whole year, and we'll see where we're at in
great.
December.
Yeah. So let's end
Yeah.
off with the song of the episode then.
Yeah.
So my song has to be, so I found out about this artist, or kind of like really got propelled into this artist when I was going to a record shop in December, and I picked up their album because I saw it on the internet, and I just looked at it for like a couple seconds, and the record shop runner was just passed by, and like he saw it and he's like, "You have you heard of this guy?" And he's like, "This is a really good, cozy, like warm, stay at home album, right?" And I was like, "Okay, interesting," but I didn't get it. And I think like in January, that's when I thought about it, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna check it out." And it's a really cozy album. It feels like you're in a warm blanket on the couch in the right
Ooh.
position, and it's the artist is Michael Kiwana Koa. And the song
Can we
is
get a
called
spelling on that?
yeah, it's Ciwanuka, Kiwanuka, and the song is called "Low Down Part One," and it's like a vibe. It's really a vibe,
Mm,
and a very peaceful one. The whole album's actually really great, but I don't know. I'm really in my specific era of like secular music, of like if the lyrics and stuff is not positive, or not like it doesn't, if it spikes up my cortisol, I'm not listening to it, you know what I mean? um
okay.
so that the whole album is kind of like reminiscing on like a on a on a childhood or something like that, so it's kind of like
Mm,
it's
I
kind of
feel like
makes me
I'm gonna
sad.
like it.
I
Oh,
think you would like it, but it's
sounding
like
like
a
my vibe.
reminiscent side. Yeah, how about you?
Okay, my song is Everything by Got Street Park and Rosie Lowe.
Okay.
Gotts. Um, but yeah, it's really good. That's all I have
Describe
to say.
it. What
I
genre
don't
is it?
know. Um, almost like jazzy.
Okay, yeah.
So I've been curating this new playlist. I think I sent it to you. It's called
Uh,
Wine Bar, and it's like jazzy, like blues kind of vibe.
hmm.
And I found it when I was trying to find songs for that playlist.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the whole album. Oh, does he have an album? He, they, is it a group? I don't know. Cut that out. Anyways, it's a really, really, really good song, and they have lots of really good music. So
Cool.
yeah, check it
Yeah.
out.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back soon.